Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to Randomly Random. I am Bwami, your internet bestie. Today, we are watching and reacting to a film titled Henry's Crime. The plot? A man with no dreams and goals gets arrested for robbing a bank. When he is released, he decides to rob the same bank again, but do it properly this time. Grab your snacks and let's get into it.
Welcome back to another essential movie. Today we will be taking a look at a story called Henry's Crime.
I didn't know it would happen like this.
What? Henry, you're a bank robber.
The story begins on a gloomy night, lonely stretch of New York, where we see a toll booth, where a man is doing his night shift as a toll collector. He is handsome, grim-faced, and staring around unemotionally. The road, lights, and vehicles around him appear to have little appeal to him. He's either doing his job or passing the time. Finally, the night have come to an end, and so does shift. He's walking home with the same ice-cold attitude. He's at home now, his wife is serving him breakfast, and they exchange greetings with the same frigid expression. His wife calls his name and asks, "Henry, do you still love me?" The answer is, "Of course I do." But Henry doesn't even change his expression. Their talk reveals that Debbie, Henry's wife, desires children, but Henry, while he loves children, is not interested in having their own. The doorbell rings and Debbie seems
This is clearly a man who is unhappy in life, It looks like he's been beat by life so much that, he has no excitement towards life, And that could be draining on a marriage. So I can understand why his wife is sitting and asking, wondering, does this man even love me? I mean, I don't even get a smile when he enters the house. Imagine being with such a gloomy person each and every day. No, I couldn't do it. The transfer of energy, because negative energy is very contagious. I mean, no, no. Good luck to this woman, but
uninterested in who is ringing, because she has yet to receive an answer. Henry opens the doors and Eddie appears. It appears that Henry and Eddie were friends at times. There is another man with him, Joe, who is vomiting and lying on the ground. They managed to get him into the room. Eddie informed Henry that they are planning a baseball game, but that due to Joe's illness, they would be unable to participate. He invites Henry to join the game because their player is currently unable to play. But this was not the baseball game. There was something else.
Suspicious.
They drive away, and as Henry inquires about the baseball, Eddie responds quickly and requests that they stop at the next bank ATM so that they could get some money for beer. Aside from Eddie and Henry, there are two other guys. When Henry arrived at the bank, Eddie told him that he should be in the car and that the engine should be turned on. They leave, and Henry notices that the car is not legal.
I mean, the plot made it seem like he robbed the bank willingly the first time. So basically, he was just cajoled and pranked or whatever the word is into robbing a bank. He literally had no idea that they were robbing a bank. And for me, I know I get it. Sometimes when you go to a shop or the mall, you want to quickly pick up something, you leave the engine running, fine. But if my friend was to give me so many instructions just because he wants to stop by an ATM, not even a bank, an ATM, I would start to wonder. And you can clearly tell the car doesn't have a key. They've used some wires to start the car. What criminals mostly do. What people that steal cars mostly do. Wow. May friends like this be far from us, because what? This man was in his home having his breakfast. Yes, he's gloomy. But he was no criminal, and his friend just appeared at his doorstep. Wow. I mean, evil can really just appear at your doorstep. What? You could be living the most innocent life, and some terrible person, would decide to just pull you into their troubles with them. Whoa.
They leave, and Henry notices that the car is not legal because the engine wires were directly connected to start the engine. Did Eddie steal the car? And were they planning to rob the bank right now? Yes. Eddie and his associates enter the bank to rob it, but they are completely unprepared, so the security alarm rang. Bank employees begin bugging off as soon as Henry's car starts, A security guard draws his pistol. Henry, who had no understanding what was going on, raised his hands politely and surrendered. The innocent Henry has been apprehended for a crime he did not even commit. Henry is being interrogated about his partners, but he did not give any name. Maybe he is too loyal to them, or maybe he only knows Eddie's name. Well, we are now in court, where the judge has sentenced Henry to 3 years in prison for robbery. Everything is accepted fully by our meek and silent.
I feel like this is a fair point to snitch. I feel like this is a fair event where you can't snitch. When somebody pulls you into a crime that could damage your reputation and your image, okay, it's not like he had a reputation, you know? I mean, he was just living some normal life. Probably will be forgotten because nobody knew him, always gloomy. But this can spoil your record. If he wanted another job, they will by all means look up his record. I feel like that was a fair event where he could snitch. Because these people are clearly not his friends. And if they left him during the time of trouble, I mean, they didn't even attempt to prompt him about anything that was going on when they came out of the bank and the police were chasing them. If they could leave him, they are clearly not his friends. And those people seem like people that will clearly easily snitch on him if the roles were reversed. So I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why he's trying to be an honorable man when his life is at stake here, when his reputation is at stake here, when his future is at stake here. I really don't. I don't understand people like this.
Protagonist. As though living in a cell or at home makes no difference to him. He is fine with it. He is now in a cell with Max Kahn, and he appears to be in good spirits. They exchange greetings and inquire.
I mean, I'm sorry, but it still annoys me that he is being blindly loyal to people that clearly are not his friends. If they were his friends, you know, probably, yeah, don't snitch. But this person just appeared on your doorstep after a long time of never seeing him. He pulled you into a bank robbery, like a felony. And you're not going to snitch on him? Bruh. And where was his lawyer? Like, I didn't see a lawyer in the room with him. I just saw a bunch of police interrogating him. I mean, he was entitled to a state attorney. Where was his lawyer? So the police are also another, because that means they probably apprehended him illegally. You know, and if he gets a good lawyer to look into this, he could probably be freed. I mean, his wife is a witness. I get it. I mean, they might probably not believe his wife because it's his wife. But she was there when the man appeared at his doorstep and said there was a baseball game using code words that he clearly did not understand and truly believed that it was a baseball event. Let's see what happens.
As to the reason for their confinement, Max is about 50 years old, seasoned, and at ease in the jail. They both became friends, and Max informs him about jail rules and introduces him to other terrible prisoners on the first night at dinner. Max stated during conservation that the real crime is not committing to your dreams. When he questions Henry about his dream, he claims to be oblivious of it and doubts that he has ever had a dream. Max finds this weird and wonders what life would be like without dreams. You see, Max is a great guy, and he is instilling in Henry's mind a notion that will change his life forever. For a man to achieve his purpose, he must first have a dream. The film switches to a 6-month later scene. Debbie pays a visit to Henry in jail. They're still in the same frigid mood as the first day.
Jail, he looks good.
Debbie is really here to inform Henry that she now wishes to marry Joe. Do you recall him? Yes, the guy who was vomiting in the beginning and carried out the robbery. Henry smiles as he congratulates her. Another year has passed. Henry appears to be accustomed in jail. Max is there with other...
Wait, what? So she went from a gloomy man to an armed robber? Like, isn't that a weirder downgrade? She went from no better to not better. Like, what? Does she have any values? Because what? Does she not know that they robbed the bank with him? Okay, he didn't snitch, so of course, maybe she did. She doesn't know. But really? Maybe that man laughs regardless. Maybe she doesn't know he's an armed robber. And maybe he makes her laugh. You know? Wow. I mean, they weren't even divorced, and she came to tell him that she wishes, or maybe, they were married, right? I didn't see her serving him divorce papers. Anyway.
The prisoners doing their shaves and telling them stories, but Henry has grown his beard, possibly due to the grief that his wife is no longer with him. But we all know our Henry dude. He is not the type to take anything personally. Henry is going on parole now, but he is not looking excited. In their cell room, he bids farewell to Max and goes out.
Oh,
he looked to be uncertain about where he should go, so he heads to Debbie's former residence. Jill greets him and appears unconcerned about anything, treating Henry like a visitor. What? He's a visitor in the house where he formerly lived. Debbie was his wife, but as fate would have it, he is now a stranger.
I mean, I'll agree.
Debbie
The house
serves
looks
him beer
more
while remaining
colorful,
calm. She
more
is now
green,
pregnant, much to Henry's shock.
more lively.
Jill wanted to thank Henry for not giving his identity to the cops during the robbery. Henry explains, cynically, that he had no idea what his name was.
But he had an idea with the other guy's name, Eddie, so he could have said it. So that's really not. But that means the wife knew. The wife literally knew that this other man she's marrying, or now she's married to, was part of the robbery. That's led her first husband to jail, and she still married this man. Okay. No comments. Guys, are you enjoying this movie? I am enjoying the movie. Let me know what you think so far. Are you as annoyed as I am? Because what is happening here? No.
Henry is now homeless and unemployed. Max had taught him philosophy. If you do the time, you might as well commit the crime. So he's now standing in front of the bank where he was once charged with a crime. A car strikes him on the hip. This scene introduces Julie Ivanova, a local actress well known for her Buffalo ads, and who is presently performing in the Cherry Orchard at the local theater.
Get out of prison and be
Julie
hit by
is
a
a
car.
kind and compassionate person. She yells at Henry for obstructing traffic while assuring him that he is okay. Julie is acting as though she did not want to be sued. Frank, the security guard who detained Henry, now assists him and recognizes him as the old bank robber as they walk to the cafe. So Julie can buy him a coffee before leaving for rehearsal. In the cafe, Henry remembers Julie from Buffalo ad on television. Something tells me Frank isn't the same now. When Julie and Frank have finished their coffee, Henry heads to the bathroom. While urinating in the cafe toilet, Henry notices an old article posted on the wall that describes how, during Prohibition, a tunnel once connected the theater, where Julie and other performers are rehearsing a play, to the bank's vault. Henry is reading the news.
Don't tell me he's going to pretend to be some extra on set of whatever she's acting on so he can get access to. Okay, let me not move ahead of myself.
Henry is reading the newspaper while thinking about something. Now is the moment for Henry to do his crime. First, Henry visits the prison to inform Max that he has finally discovered his dream. Max was perplexed and surprised. He suddenly questioned what kind of dream it is to rob a bank, and then tell someone about it in jail.
Like what?
He rejects the notion right away, arguing that the jail is his home. And
exactly, you are literally putting him in trouble because I'm sure jail. Okay, I don't know. I know jail phone calls. Some of them are recorded, but I don't really know if jail visits are recorded. But this seems like a jail visit that could easily be recorded. You know? He's so stupid. So this is his dream. Who wrote this plot? I can't take this movie seriously. What? Keanu Reeves really acted in this? Okay.
that he will not come out only to rob a bank. Henry argues that he cannot spend his entire life in jail and die in misery. Furthermore,
so he
tries
help.
to persuade Max that he wants his assistance in breaking into the vault. Henry's reasoning succeeds and two buddies wind up sharing a Buffalo flat. They go to the cafe where Henry saw the newsletter.
Wait, is it that he could come out of prison, but he decided to stay in prison this whole time? Because how did he quickly just get out of prison? I mean, he did say that prison is his home. So was he voluntarily like living in the prison, even though he had already served his time there? I mean, I could see a world where that could be an option for some people. Probably they lost friends and family during the time they were in prison, and so even if they are released, they have nowhere to go. They don't really know where they are going to end up into. I'm sure there are people like that who voluntarily say, I want to stay here. I mean, I get free food, I get clothes, I could help mop, I could help educate the other prisoners, I could see a world. Guys, do you know anyone who voluntarily literally lived in prison till their death? Let me know. Do you know any true stories? Have you heard of anyone like that? Let me know in the comment.
Max notices the map is 80 years old. Because the bank structure had changed, they had to go to the bank first and then to the theater for confirmation. In the bank, Max's con man abilities assist him in ascertaining that there is still a tunnel. Then they go to the theater, where Max pretends to be an old performer from 30 years ago. Henry introduced him to Julie, and with Julie's assistance, Max was able to tour the whole theater. He confided in a manager who was aware of the tunnel.
Okay, it's public knowledge.
The manager reports that the tunnel has been shut, and that they now have the dressing room of one of their performers, Lopekin, there. Henry asks Julie in the performance auditorium for a date. Henry tells her his story, and they set a date for Chinese food to kick off their love relationship. They go out and have a great time. I'm
not sure if he actually likes her or if he's just doing it to easily be able to rob the bank, But he's smiling, He's smiling. Because when he met her at the police station and also recognized that she was the actress who was always in the Buffalo art, he was also smiling. But he never smiled like this at his first wife. So maybe love is in the air. Let's see. Who knows? She might end up helping him. Who knows? Love makes people do stupid things. Her arms are already around his neck.
A motionless wooden boy is feeling sweet vibes with Julie. Looks good. Max decides they must enter the dressing rooms, so he offers his assistance. He also convinces one of the performers to leave the play so that Henry may participate. That's correct. Our wooden boy will now play an actor in the cherry orchard in order to break into the vault, and they manage to persuade the violent director, who spends the majority of the film lecturing Julie why she's a bad actor. I'm not sure what he's got against our adorable Julie. Max believes Henry is a natural actor, thus he is convinced that Lopakin will be no problem for Henry. And yes, Henry proves himself. Cutting the crap, Henry and Max are in. They shattered the wall of the dressing room where the tunnel is, but shit. Because the tunnel is filled with sand, they must now dig it out, which requires the assistance of a third person. So they go to Joe, who is drinking in a tavern. He is dissatisfied with his employment. Henry offers
Joe,
an
his
assistance at a job.
new husband.
So the three begin digging. Max and Joe are constantly working in the tunnel, while Henry must also attend the rehearsal. The routine seems smooth until one night Frank interrupted them and told them that he was constantly observing them around the bank. They attempt to lie, but Frank informs them that he is aware of their objectives and wishes to be a part of it. Frank chooses to play insider and informs them that there will be a monthly currency exchange where the bank will...
He's going to be a real asset to them because he's a bank security guard, right? And clearly he's been the bank security guard for years. Wow. This is what we call an unhappy employee who is clearly not happy with the working conditions. And so now he's retaliating by joining the robbers who are going to rob the bank he works for. Wow. Okay. Let's see what happens.
Have millions and millions of dollars, and that it is a one-time transaction because he is retiring. Frank's motivation for joining the theft is heartbreaking. The bank refused him a loan when his wife was dying, so they enlist him. But wait, the squad isn't finished yet.
I knew his employer had done something to him that was unforgivable. For him to say that he wants to join them to rob the bank he works for, which he's the head of security for, they must have done something really wild to him. And I mean, who can blame him? Who can blame him? But I get that he wants to retire, but he should also know that there's a risk with what he's about to do. He could end up retiring, but be in prison for the rest of his retired life. I hope he knows that. There are other ways, you know.
Still have one bad man remaining, Eddie. Joe, who was inebriated, brought him one night. He wants to be in yet refuses to dig. Max becomes enraged, but they must enroll him as well. During the practice, Julie became agitated and rushed to her room after Derek accused her of not performing the acting that appealed to her. Henry, our sweetheart,
Has Henry not learned his lesson? Why is he bringing the other guy that blindly pulled him into a robbery? How? And with the way things are going, I feel like this woman will join them. But let's see. She might join them into robbing the bank. She might be the catch, the person that takes attention of them and puts the attention on herself as they are robbing the bank. I forgot. The term is not coming to me. Yeah, she might be the side attraction. Is that the word? Or she might be the side distraction. Yeah, she might serve as a distraction to help them rob the bank. Maybe that might be her role. Let's see.
goes to offer his condolences. And it is then that he says that he is going to leave during the opening night of the Cherry Orchard show. Because Henry is now a significant character in the play's start is impossible without him. As a result, Julie became even more unhappy. She shouts at him and tells him to leave her alone. Henry intends to break into a bank vault during the play's opening night performance, which he will assist with in between acts and have no one notice. Eddie's contribution is to use welding equipment to enter the vault. I'm not sure how they intended to do it in any other case. Even though he's a...
The more I'm watching this movie, especially with the underground tunnel sound they are digging, I feel like I have watched this movie before, but I can't really put all the pieces together. Like, it looks really familiar, especially the scene of them in the tunnel digging the sand and all of that. But I just can't remember. Like, I don't know if I'm having a deja vu or it's like a flash or I've really watched it, but it looks very familiar now. I just don't remember what happens in the movie. Has that happened to you before? Let me know in the comments. This is so weird.
To shit, Eddie is the only one who is aware of how to enter a vault and use the necessary machinery. Finally, with Eddie's assistance, they have reached the vault. On the other side, Henry is acting in the show, but he stays informed between the intermissions. They place the cash in sacks and carry them into the Lopakins' room. Hey dude, Eddie in the room transforms into the old bullshit Eddie and threatens Max with a revolver while directing Joe to take the cash.
I feel like Max is not surprised because remember that Max did not want Eddie to be part. He was angry at Henry for adding Eddie again. Okay, literally it was his ex-wife husband that brought Eddie. Why would he be telling people you are going to rob a bank? Like, there are too many people involved for me, but in the end, I feel like Henry and Max will still win. Probably they could tell that Eddie might betray them, and so maybe, who knows, maybe with the help of the security man, they planted fake money. Let's see what happens. I'm just going off the rails here.
The car. He intended to take the cash and keep it for himself. However, our con guy has now shown his strength by punching Eddie to the ground. The three put the cash in the car and drive off. Henry asks the driver to pull over so he may stop and think. He realizes how much he wants Julie, the woman he loves. He rushed back inside the theater, where Julie is performing in Cherry Orchard's final scene.
Okay.
Max storms in and confesses his eternal love.
Oh my goodness, people
He
will think it's
requests
part
that
of the
Julie
play.
meet him in Moscow. They have their final kiss, and it's over. Henry's crime is about feelings, and the link between feelings and self-realization. Henry lacked direction and led a wretched, unhappy marriage. But then he feels compelled to do his crime. Perhaps it is something that brings excitement. Henry is a risk-taker, and when he met Julie and began to develop feelings for her, his life began to change. According to Julie, this play is about being compelled to leave the past behind and start again in order to survive. Henry is going to start a new life with Julie. Thanks for watching another Essential Movie Recap. Please like and...
What an anticlimactic movie. Is that how it ended? I mean, they could have shown us a scene where in the end they were traveling the world on maybe some resort or some island somewhere enjoying the money. So what? Henry gave all the money to Max and he just went back to get his love, Julie. What? Nah. And then what happened to Eddie? Did they leave him in the tunnel so the police caught him as the armed robber? Like, what happened? Because if they let him in the tunnel, there's a higher chance that they will all be caught. Because trust me, Eddie is not like Henry. Eddie is going to snitch. So what happened? How did they share the money? Like, what an anticlimactic movie. I did enjoy like about 90% of it, so I'll give it like a 6 out of 10, you know. But to me, it's just so anticlimactic, like, I didn't get the rush at the end I needed, you know. I don't know, I feel like something more should have been added. But that's just me. Guys, let me know, what do you think of Henry's, what's the title of the movie again? Henry's Crime. Look at me, I forgot the title. Have you watched it before? If you have watched it and perhaps you feel like this recap missed out on some details that will help us appreciate the movie a bit more, let us know in the comments. What do you think of the movie? If your friend blindly pranked you into robbing a bank, would you snitch? Would you not snitch? Let me know in the comments. And do you have dreams? Or are you like Henry, who has never had a dream or goal in life before? Who knows? Perhaps there are people like that in the world out there and you are one of them. Share your perspective. Let us know. Maybe there are some people in the world who have never felt the need to like achieve anything, be or do or have anything in life other than who or what they have or who they are, you know? Maybe there are people like that. Let us know in the comments. Or do you know anyone like that? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for sticking around with me. Thank you so much for watching this movie with me. Please do like this video. And until our next watch party and reaction, don't forget to subscribe. Bye, guys.